What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dynasty Dudes podcast. Uh, Dude, week one and the first game of week two have happened. And uh, I think the first things first, RIP to the Achilles heel. Um, just two, dude. How do you beat two? And then
What?
three if you want to count Tim Patrick. How do you get two Achilles
Achilles.
injuries?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I mean, the turf versus grass discussion is there. But even then, I mean, outside of that, it's just maybe it's just because we're tracking football more now than we used to, but it feels like there's been a lot of Achilles lately, right?
Yeah.
Like the last couple of years, it just
Yeah,
seems
I
to be
mean,
popping.
yeah, and I mean, if you look at uh, these soccer players, they have it in their contracts. They're not going to play on turf. We're playing on grass. Uh, NFL could do it tomorrow and say, hey, by 2024 we need grass, or maybe 2025, maybe more realistic, or six. But
Yeah.
man, let's get this done. Let's get this done.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
all for it as well.
but yeah. Anyway, though, that's all good. I've done my crying on J.K. Dobbins. He was only my most owned player, so I mean, what are
Oh,
you gonna do?
dude.
Traded him for a fourth. Dude, I was watching a pod the other day, and they were like, "Oh, what do we do with J.K. Dobbins? Do you want to like trade him for a third or Tyler Algier?" And I was like, "Dude, like Keep Trade Cut has him under 1,000 in value. Like you get nothing for him. Like if anyone trades you Tyler Algier, they should be kicked out of your league."
Yeah. Yeah, like I sent you the fourth, knowing eventually you'd accept it, but just to remind you daily of the upsetting news that you had lost your favorite player to an Achilles injury. Like,
Yeah, and his
yeah.
career's over. So, I mean,
Oh, it's
I don't want to
done.
say it's over. Like, yeah, I mean, one, you're just sad for him. That sucks. But the other big part of it is he's on the last year of his deal, so he's gonna have to like find someone to invest in. You remember when James Robinson came back from that Achilles, and it was like, oh, what's going on? Why is he keeps getting the ball, everything's good, and obviously James Robinson's taken a nosedive since
Yeah.
then, but he was at least under contract with the Jaguars.
Yep, he
Now
was.
J.K. Dobbins, someone has to go take a chance on him.
Pay
I don't
him.
know. Yeah, there's just
Yeah.
no chance. Yeah. So anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about a few things
While
that
we're still on
we
the topic of
love.
Achilles, I'm sure that by the
Okay.
time people listen to this, they'll know. On the Pat McAfee show today, did you listen to that? Did
I
you?
heard the clips.
Where Rogers alluded to coming back for the playoffs this year?
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. I think it is all smoke. It's the most ridiculous thing. And it's so fun and so on brand for him. Like, now I'm going to be tracking his recovery with the pretend assumption that he's maybe going to be back in 5 months.
I mean, it's definitely it's tough because I can't recall a quarterback going down with an Achilles injury because it's like how much recovery do they actually need? Obviously it's just a categorically different thing than a running back or really any
Yep.
other position because again, it's sort of like in baseball when a position player gets Tommy John surgery, it's like, oh wow, I don't know what that even is going to happen, like they don't
Yeah.
pitch. And so kind of the same thing where it's like, is it 6 months, 5 months? I don't know,
Yeah.
like,
But it's fun. It
um,
makes me think Rogers is, at a minimum, planning to play football next year. Is that with the Jets or with the Vikings? We don't know. But
it, yeah,
I like to think
yeah,
we get at least one more season of him. I don't want him to go out this way. So even the illusion that he might give us more football is super fun to me.
I don't
So
think he's going to go out this way. I agree, but I think we can talk about the whole Rodgers situation until the cows come home. What if
yeah,
Zach Wilson's actually kind of good? What if they're bad enough to get a top pick? Like all this stuff. Um, but I think ultimately it's just going to be interesting to watch. We have to enjoy the ride. I think
yeah,
Garrett Wilson takes a little bit of a hit but other than that, it's all good.
Yeah. Are
Um,
you are
I
you
w-
in a buy or a sell place with Garrett Wilson based off this,
Probably
or
a
neutral?
hold. I mean, yeah, probably just a hold. Like he's
Yeah.
got tons of talent. I don't hate Zach Wilson. I actually think one of the big problems with Zach Wilson that he was, immature, and I think he's grown up quite a bit from this whole experience. And so I'm not completely out on Zach Wilson. I think he has talent, and the fact that he's been humbled over the last year and has had a chance for Aaron to kind of come in. I, I'm a little bit excited of what happens. Now, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but
Yeah.
we'll see, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
the Jets didn't move on from him. They brought in a veteran to work with him, right? Like
yeah,
they wanted Rodgers to be their guy and to make a Super Bowl run, but they also wanted him to train up Wilson. So we'll see what happens
yeah,
there.
100% agree. But anyway, I want to move on to just our favorite things for this week, or our biggest takeaways. So it's obviously been over like a week since week one. I think we've been able to digest things. There's some initial emotional overreactions, like T. Higgins is the worst wide receiver in the NFL, and I think we've gotten over that, right? Like I think that's done. Um, but some of the key takeaways, Trevor Lawrence and that Jacksonville Jaguars offense is so good. Uh, just so good. It's T-Law season. Buy into the Jags. Calvin Ridley is back. I'm just so bullish on everything going on. Like they might have five startable offensive pieces. It's insane. So yeah, that I just want to put that out there. That is probably one of my biggest non-overreaction takeaways is that Trevor Lawrence is here, Calvin Ridley is here, Travis Etienne is still really good. Yeah, I don't know if you have any thoughts on that,
No,
Rob. I know
super
you're not a
prepared to argue.
Jaguars guy.
No, I'm frustrated because I should have been more prepared to discuss the Jags. I was very prepared to argue with you about Jordan Love. I was real
Yeah,
ready.
well, I've got more. I got time on my hands, man. I got
Yeah,
time.
but no, I mean, you're not wrong. Travis Etienne looked good. I mean, we didn't see anything from Christian Kirk, which was kind of disappointing. I
Yeah.
don't think he'll fade into nothing. I wonder if their wide receiver room will function similar to the Eagles, where it's kind of 1 week Smith, 1 week uh, um, AJ Brown, kind of
Brown. Yeah.
similar with Ridley and Kirk. But no, Jacksonville
Yeah.
looked legit. I would say um, I don't I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of that game other than, whatever was on Red Zone.
Mhm.
Um, but I will be interested to see what they can do going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I will say, I don't pretend to be an expert on NFL defenses, but the way the Colts play defense, they were taking a lot of those underneath routes
Mm.
away from Trevor, and it's
Yeah.
probably why Calvin Ridley went off for so many yards and had such a big day. So expect a lot of people who are smarter than us are expecting Christian Kirk and
Yeah.
probably Evan Ingram too to have a little bit of a bump against Kansas
Also,
City. Just
it will be nice to see because they play KC this week. Is that what you just said?
mhm. Yeah,
It'll be nice to see what the Jags do against a legitimate NFL team. I'm not saying the Colts aren't a real football team, but they're clearly in the middle of a rebuild, right? Like they just are. And their star of running back sitting out, all those things. I'm interested to see what that kind of a matchup will look like.
yeah. I'm stoked for it. It is malpractice that the NFL is putting this game at 10 a.m.
What's
Just
the
ridiculous. This
what's
this
the
is prime time.
primetime game Sunday night?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Why did the Lions need to be prime time with Casey? I understand that every Kansas City game can't be in prime time, but at the same time, this was literally a rematch of the divisional round. Two of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think it was a misstep.
Yeah, I think that Lions in primetime made a ton of sense to me because they're kind of like, who doesn't want the Lions to win right now? Who's rooting against the
Dolphins
Lions?
and Patriots.
That's what it is. I thought because I put it in the group chat that I didn't like primetime this week after Thursday night.
Yeah,
Because the Sunday night
I
games,
think
Dolphins,
the Browns
Patriots, huh?
Browns Steelers on Monday is kind of interesting. I kind of like that.
I hate it. It's gonna whatever the over is for that game, avoid it. Take the under. The under's excellent for Browns Steelers. I think both those teams suck. And then Saints Panthers is
Tell you,
another one like I don't know. That is three games that I will watch begrudgingly. So
yeah, I'm with you on the Saints and Panthers. How about you, dude? Any fun takeaways you want to brag about T.J. Hawkinson yet, or
not
he that I
so I
called him the
wanted
tight end one in Dynasty?
I wasn't even gonna bring it up. I actually have in my notes it says Vikings, what is happening? Because I thought coming in, their offense looked sort of their running back room, which is just garbage. They
Yeah,
looked
Alexander
geared
Madison
up to
stuff.
be productive. They looked healthy. They look strong. They have great pieces with Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson, and Addison. And I don't know. I liked it. I really liked them, and they look like butt. Last year, they won most of their one-score games. It was like out of 10 one-score games, they won 9 or whatever. And this year, they lost 2. And
Well,
it,
yeah,
yeah,
I sort of understand what you're saying, but the reality is, I challenge push it back. Like they don't look bad. They look really good. Like the numbers back it up. Like
yeah,
any of the if you started any of the Vikings pass catchers yesterday, you're stoked. Like even if you started
yeah.
KJ
Oh,
Osborne,
oh,
like
son of
yeah,
a bitch.
like the only person you would have been mad about would be Alexander Madison, and you just need to drink the Kool-Aid now that Alexander Madison is a bad football player.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, it's time. Like if
yeah,
you have him and you can get a second round pick for him, do it. If you can get a third round
yeah,
pick for him, maybe. The guy is not a serviceable fantasy running back.
yeah,
And
he's
I'm not
terrible.
just talking fantasy. Fantasy wise, they look awesome. Everyone, I mean, Kirk Cousins in prime time was very productive for fantasy. He dropped like 25
Super
points.
good,
Um,
super good.
in my roommate's really weird league, he scored 40, and I still can't do the math to figure out how he scored 40 points. But like
Weird.
Cousins was, yeah, I don't get it. Even with passing touchdowns, the math or 6 point passing touchdowns, the math doesn't work. But I am worried
Yeah.
that if they keep losing games, Cousins is going to get benched, so they can tank and try and draft Caleb Williams or just something. And we don't want any of that. Like that's bad for Hawk. That's bad for Jefferson.
Yeah. I think your analysis is because I've been having somewhat similar thoughts of there could be some quarterback turmoil in
Yeah,
Minnesota if things don't turn around quickly. It's going to be really interesting. They play the Chargers next week. I believe it's at home.
okay,
So, and I mean, that's kind of a coin flip game. I don't know who's going to win that one.
yeah,
I would put my money on the Vikings, I think. But if they lose and start 0-3, I do think the murmurs start of
yeah,
do we trade Kirk? Do we try to just lean into a rebuild? Because a lot of their team, I mean, their offensive skill positions are really good, which is, what fantasy football is about. But their offensive line is not very good. Their defense is not great. They have some good like D linemen, which is kind of it was weird. They rushed 3 all last night. It was kind of fun. Um, but the reality is, like, if they sold Kirk and went with, I don't even know who their backup is, they probably could be like bad enough to get into that top 5. So they play. So their schedule is they play the Chargers and then I believe they play the Panthers, which they better win that one. So,
must win.
but
Yeah,
they're definitely looking at 1-3. Like that could be very possible.
yeah.
Um, so
Panthers is another one I
yeah,
wanted to talk about. That's a good transition.
totally.
Taco Bell today. Good for you. Is that not a
Mhm.
Taco Bell cup? That looks like a Taco Bell drink
No,
cup you're drinking out of.
this is Starbucks. This is the Bucks.
Oh, gross.
The Bucks.
I
The
mean, not that
Bucks,
Taco Bell
dude.
is better. Did you get a lemonade at
Yeah.
Starbucks, brother?
No, it's just water. No, this was a vanilla sweet cream cold brew. I recommend. I recommend the vanilla sweet cream cold brew. It only 110 calories. Like it's a little bit
That's a win.
the right
Fair
amount
enough.
of sweet. Yeah, it's good. Anyway,
So anyway, the Panthers. I send you the clip of Bryce Young where he hits the deep ball for
yeah,
a touchdown and his wide receiver gave up? Between that and
yeah.
just having
Who was
rewatched
that?
some of his gameplay, I don't know. Name three
I
wide
like
receivers on the Panthers. Like,
Laviska Chenault, and Laviska Chenault.
yeah. They've got who's the kid, the rookie that was going late in
Mingo,
fantasy? Mingo.
Jonathan
That's
Mingo.
two. We're at two.
Oh, I got him.
Adam
Adam
Thielen.
Thielen, DJ Chark.
Yeah.
I know who's on
Oh,
the
they got
Panthers.
DJ Shark too, huh?
Also, Therese Marshall, dude. I just named five.
Wow. Yeah.
Therese Marshall, shout out.
How many of those would you roster right now?
Hmm?
How many of those?
I do roster Laviska.
There you go.
He was darn good. He got like he had like 4 points in the first quarter, and I thought, no way. Let's go. He finished with 4 points.
You thought he was
Let's
your
see.
Tutu Atwell or whatever, or
Dude,
what's his-
I believe. Dude, I keep waiting. Also, by the way, Hayden Hurst is legit.
yeah,
That's six if you count the. That's six if you count the tight
that's a
end.
tight end.
That looks like.
Um,
Anyway, keep talking about it.
so Bryce Young had some bad plays. He had some inconsistencies for sure. But looking at that tape and then looking at, I mean, easy comparison. Trevor Lawrence's rookie season, where he was on kind of a butt team with not a lot going on. I had a lot of hope. I walked out and saw glimpses of greatness, moments where he looked like a starting, legitimate NFL QB. He looked like a first overall pick. And I know it's only week one. I'm not saying he is the next, Trevor Lawrence or, just great rookie QB. But watch his game this week. There was a lot to be excited about last week. I think there will be a lot to be excited about this week. I think if you take away the picks, he almost had a serviceable fantasy week.
Yeah, I think he was. Obviously, Anthony Richardson had the rushing touchdown, and he kind of had a weird
Yeah.
game. He was the best rookie quarterback. And then Bryce Young was saying CJ Stroud did not have a very good game, but
No.
whatever.
And Anthony
Neither
Richardson
of
and
those,
Bryce
both
Young are
those
different.
guys are in terrible rock.
Yeah, and Young
Yeah.
and Richardson are different QBs, right? You're watching for different things. You're expecting different things from them. Richardson, like, you're looking for a Justin Fields type week. Bryce Young, you're looking for, I don't know, a 2018 Lions Stafford type week, right? Like, they're just different
Yeah.
different situations.
Yeah. The other thing too, like the reality is for most of these guys, but maybe with the exception of Anthony Richardson, if you're on a competing team, you shouldn't be starting these guys.
No.
Like they are like if you're in a pinch, go ahead. Like bye weeks, obviously you throw in your QB3, but these are guys you're looking for. You're watching for development.
Yeah. And I'm saying
so
development
I'm
looks
happy to.
good.
I did not watch
Yeah.
the Panthers. Yeah, I did not watch the Panthers game, so I'll take your word for it. I struggle with the size.
Yeah.
In more ways than one, but no, okay.
I missed it.
Bryce Young, okay, no big deal. It's just a silly joke. Bryce Young will have to show me before I'm a believer. Like I need to know.
Yeah.
I gotta see him at his size at 5'9" be a successful NFL quarterback. But anyway, how about some things we hate? And I'm gonna start this one off. And this has been obviously talked about and discussed. Anyone who's in the Dynasty community has already discussed this, but dude, the Falcons pass catchers are like you throw them away, dude. I mean, because of the tight end position, like Kyle Pitts is fine. Dude,
No, he's not
I don't-
fine. He had
I don't
like
want
two
to start
targets.
Kyle Pitts. It sucks, dude.
But you
Dude,
got to
it
start him.
sucks.
If you got him, you have to start him, right? That's the curse of Kyle Pitts.
Dude, it's brutal, dude. Like that Falcons, dude. If I'm Kyle Pitts, he got drafted in 2020.
Yeah, he's 22,
Man,
man.
I would just try to freaking get away from this team. Like I don't know
Yeah,
how it's possible. I don't know if he can. Um,
dude. I
because they're
mean,
gonna pick up his fifth year option probably.
yeah.
It's just so dirty. It's just gross, you know? Like it's
Pitts
really
and London.
gross.
How many targets did London have? So Pitts had 3 targets.
London, I think he might have had. I think he had one. I think Drake London had one target for no yards. You know, for nothing. For he didn't have a reception.
And like, if you own these players, you're just so gridlocked. He had 1 target for no receptions because you can't sell them because no one wants to pay up for them, and you don't want to sell them low
Yeah,
because they're incredible football players. But at the same time, like,
right.
I mean, they're producing. You are in a permanent rebuild. If you invested and traded up to get Drake London or traded for Kyle Pitts, I don't know how you're competing right now. You're in a rebuild because
Well,
the guys you thought would be
yeah.
leading your fantasy offense are getting a total of 4 targets.
What I would do if I was on what I consider to be a competing team and I had really either of these guys, maybe I'd hold Kyle Pitts, but specifically with Drake London, what I would probably be doing is looking for the teams that are selling and
Mm.
say, hey, and like let's do some sort of trade. You know, hopefully brighter days ahead, maybe some sort of offensive changes as things move along, maybe as Ritter develops or they drafts, you know, whatever,
Yeah.
and say, hey, let's uh, give me some, you know, older win now guy, and here's Drake London or Kyle Pitts, and we'll because I think that's all you can do. Otherwise, if you can afford to hold, you can do that. But
Well,
if you were relying on, yeah,
here's the follow up then. Okay, let's say you're in that situation. Your team's trash. My team's trying to compete. I offer you Drake London for whatever, and then another team comes along and offers you Jerry Judy for the same price. If you're taking Jerry Judy, right?
well, sure, but like I don't know.
But
So
would you
I'm trying
say
to think
Jerry
of
Judy's a better
people who
NFL wide receiver?
yeah, I mean Jared Judy's got the injury problems, and so that's the issue there. But here, like I'm thinking of people. If Drake London for Mike Evans straight up, like Mike Evans is 30,
But if I'm
Drake
the
London's
Drake London
21 or
owner,
20.
I don't want to make that trade because I'm getting 2 years of Mike Evans at best versus,
Right. Well, you have to determine where you're at. You know,
yeah.
if you need a wide receiver and you were going to rely on if you need a wide receiver and you were going to rely on Drake London, you can't do that anymore. It's like
I think
competing teams can't.
I just
Again,
think because of the value difference between what he should be and what he is, I think you're gridlocked with Drake London and Kyle Pitts. I don't think you can ship them unless they're part of a
well, you're
massive
never
bundle.
right.
I think you are
You're
gridlocked
never
sometimes.
super gridlocked. Yeah, sometimes, but I don't think in this. Sometimes you just have to eat the perceived value and just say, look. So I'm a little bit in that spot with Jameson Williams where theoretically it's like, oh man, his value kind of sucks right now. Like this is
See,
probably a sell low moment.
I would say that they're incomparable. Jameson Williams versus Drake London because of the injury and the
Really
gambling
similar.
issue. Um, I don't know. I don't see them in the same boat. Like if you were to swap Drake London and CeeDee Lamb, I think that Drake London on the Cowboys would be a top 10 wide receiver,
Oh,
probably, like just with the production. Um, and he has no opportunity for that with the Falcons. Like I won't touch him with a 10-foot pole because as long as he's on the
yeah.
Falcons,
The
nothing.
problem is he's a first round pick who's in year two of a contract. They have zero incentive to trade him. Like
I'm
and
not saying
the
they're going to
reality
trade
is they
him,
just
but
right. Yeah. So I think my point is, obviously Drake London, James Williams, different situations, but similar in the fact of really great talents coming out of college. They're in, first or second or third year of their rookie deals. I guess no second year, both of them. They're both in the same draft class. And we don't know what they're going to be. Like, we don't know if they can reach their ceilings. And both are in a low point of their value. So I think you can if you really want to, or you just hold. you
Yeah,
know.
I think
But
you
again, I think
have to hold.
nah.
And this actually kind of leads into my next takeaway. If you own
Hmm.
anyone on the Chicago Bears, you have to sell because value is only going down. I think that that is a sinking ship. I cannot think of a player there that is actually going to be consistently productive and finish reasonable. Like, I don't know, man. That game with Green Bay, they could not have looked much worse,
Yeah.
just across the board.
So I'll challenge you on that again. Chicago's in an interesting spot because they have that Panthers first round pick as well as their own. Like they might be getting an elite rookie quarterback coming in. And
I,
so
I
if
think that they're
you
going to run it with Fields again next year. I think they're bought in that he's going to become
no,
something.
no, no, no. Dude,
You
if
don't
he
think so?
sucks, they're not going to do it. No, I mean, if he has to turn it around. They have to win 8 games at least,
So like
and it has
I
to be
wanna I wanna
promising.
believe that, but then you look at like Bears history, and they are not good at making decisions as a franchise. Like,
I'm telling, if they have a top three pick, they're not moving off a court. Like they're get drafting a quarterback, and
yeah.
they have both their like they're bad and the Panthers are bad.
Also, I don't know how it
They
works.
are.
If they let's say the Bears end up with the pick and they go to draft
Mhm.
what's his name Caleb Williams
Caleb
or
Williams.
whatever, can he just go back to college for another year? Can he say never mind? I'm gonna play. No, that's not how it works.
No,
Because I
you have to. Yeah, no.
I don't picture a world
Well,
where
what
he will willingly go to the Bears.
so what he can do is if the Bears get the number one pick, and he knows. So I mean, this happened with Eli back in
Yeah,
2004. Like he didn't want to go to the Chargers. He basically said it, and they took him anyway, and they traded him immediately. So a couple things can happen. One, he could just like when it's clear, because he'll know the who
yeah,
gets the number one pick before he has to declare for the draft,
yeah,
and so he could say, "F it, I'm going back. I'm going back to
yeah.
school." When he knows the Bears have the pick, or he could declare for the draft, but say, "I do not want to play for the Bears. Trade the pick." Like you,
Really?
and again,
Yeah.
like it's. I mean that's what Eli did. You could. They don't have to do it, but obviously it's not a
You
great
don't want to
start to a
draft a guy.
relationship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I
yeah.
just picture there's no way. I don't know. If you're a top three prospect coming into the NFL, you're going to be a top five pick. I don't know why you would willingly go to the Bears. That like,
I mean,
I mean, I was watching some breakdown of just their offensive scheme, and it's gibberish. They don't know what they're doing. People don't know their assignments. I mean, you got guys like Chase Claypool giving up before the ball is snapped, just walking around on the. It was some of the worst football I've watched, and
yeah.
yeah, it was horrible.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see kind of how it all shakes out. Obviously, like it could be the second pick and Drake May or Shador Sanders. There's
Yeah,
so many quarterbacks. Um, yeah, I actually, and again, I'm excited about it for these Bears pass catchers like DJ Moore.
yeah,
I actually think in my eyes, and because I'm not a Justin Fields believer, I never have been.
no,
In my eyes, DJ Moore's value went up because I'm looking at it, it's like, dude, Justin Fields, it's the end. This is the last year of this crap.
yeah.
Like we're
But so, how old is he right now? DJ Moore's what, 26? He's always younger than I think he
26.
is. So
Yeah,
by
he's
the
20. He
time
might be 27.
by the time a new QB comes in, he'll be 27. Rookie
Hmm.
QBs and wide receivers pretty consistently don't produce a pass catcher over 32 in fantasy rankings.
I
And
think Caleb Williams will be an exception, but if that's the case, but okay.
they thought
Yeah.
that Trevor Lawrence would be an exception. He was the last return of
Yeah,
Jesus,
but
and
that
then he
was
wasn't.
also
But then he
like,
what? Hold on, that was the narrative 2 years ago, and it did not
I
happen.
mean, he was throwing to Marvin Jones was his wide receiver one. Like it's just there just wasn't anyone there.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stick with those numbers because it makes sense to me. But let's say he's wide receiver 32 that rookie season. By the time he is 28, so you got to hold him for another 2 years before DJ Moore turns into anything. That is plummeting value to me. And I get that that's kind of the opposite of what I said with the Falcons, where you have to hold. But we've had a long time for DJ Moore to hit, and he hasn't. Just get him off your
Yeah.
roster. You're over the headache. You're over the heartbreak. You're tired of him going off for a 25-point game, starting him, and him giving you 6 points. Get him out of there.
No, I get it. And again, I think probably similar to what I said with Drake London. Look for that rebuilding team whose ETA is 2025, where hopefully DJ Moore will have a quarterback. But I'm just saying that maybe we're just talking past each other. That the outlook, I think, for DJ Moore in 2 years is like an order of magnitude better in my eyes than Drake London's. Even though Drake London's, 5 years younger.
And I hear what you're saying, and I just don't see it. The Falcons have a Super Bowl that's relevant to modern football. Like, they've shown that they can run a team. The Bears have not shown me anything that implies that even if they get Caleb Williams, they will use him effectively and develop him into someone that can help DJ Moore produce for fantasy. All I see is just garbage. Yuck.
Yeah, the problem is, and again, we're beating a dead horse a little bit, but man, the Falcons, I mean, look at the Titans. Like, they they lean into this 60s style of football and they just run the rock. Like, that's what they do. And their wide receiver, their pass catchers are just complimentary. And fine, but I don't trust him. If I held Drake London and I needed him, I'm selling him for someone productive. What about this? This is an interesting one. What about Drake London for Cooper Kupp? Not that a rebuilding team would probably have Cooper Kupp. Maybe they would. Maybe someone who like just found out they're rebuilding now. Who I don't know, but like that seems like an interesting one.
I'm not even trying to think who I'd rather own. I'm trying to think who's going to score more fantasy points this year.
I would still say probably Cooper Kupp. Yeah.
Maybe if he actually comes back. You don't fly to where did he go to get his hamstring looked at?
Wisconsin or something like that.
Yeah.
He went to Wisconsin or something.
Yeah, you don't go to the middle of nowhere right before your season starts to get your hammy looked at because you think you're only going to be on IR for 4 weeks. I think Cooper Kupp's the new Michael Thomas. That's in my notes to talk about. I think that he's going to play 2 games this year, have hamstring injuries.
Michael Thomas looked good.
Totally. And it's been a decade since he's played relevant football. He broke our hearts after 2 weeks last season. And then it was, 2 years before that? That's what I think Cooper Kupp's about to do. He's going to have 2 or 3 years of just constant issues every year. Someone's going to draft him in the 3rd round or 4th round or whatever Michael Thomas was going in and think this is my league winner and then lose because their 3rd or 4th round pick played 2 games.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. I'm gonna give Cooper Kupp till week 6 to come back and stay back.
Okay.
But I think you're right. Like if he's not back by week 6, I probably throw him in the Michael Thomas category. It's Jover.
Yeah.
And by the way, I said this before the season started, but now I'm like locking it in. I was kind of being provocative. Mike Evans is more valuable than Cooper Kupp at this point by quite a bit.
Yeah.
At some point, availability is the best ability. And I think that they're the same age. The big knock was, hey, Baker, he's got this terrible quarterback. 1, Baker looked pretty good. 2, if Baker's not good, he's just getting traded. So like Mike Evans. And so it's really he actually has an easy out.
I think that Mike Evans goes to the Rams. I don't know. They were on my list of teams that I could see. I'm not convinced that with a good Baker, they have to be on Super Bowl trajectory for Mike Evans to stick around. That's what I think. I think he wants out. Yeah. And he's going to go somewhere that needs a wide receiver and is making a run.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're just going to be in that division race.
I think that could be the Rams, man. The Rams looked really good. As a Hawks fan, I don't love to say it, but I don't know. Stafford looked back. I mean, his wide receivers were kind of pedestrian before that game. Like
Puka
yeah.
Nakua.
What round did he go in? The third, the fifth?
Uh, I can't believe I wasn't watching enough BYU football. I tell you what, how did I miss this guy?
I
The
mean,
BDGE
6'2",
guys were all
250.
over him. I don't know.
A
Good.
league mate of ours
Puka,
offered
baby.
him and other players in bundles for my third round pick constantly, and I'm pretty sure I told him to F off, and I was tired of seeing it. I do regret
Dude,
that.
how bad do you feel? How that must suck.
I have Van Jefferson, so I think I have a shot at having something. Because everyone's high on Puka.
Sucks.
Or no, sorry, Tutu
Because
Atwell.
he's good. Tutu. Yeah. Tutu.
Yeah.
Interesting. He's pretty good.
Yeah, not Van Jefferson.
he's
Wrong
kinda
guy.
fun.
Tutu was productive. He's also like shorter than Bryce Young, which is saying something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think there's hope for Tutu. Maybe he was an NFL first round pick or something like that.
Yeah, I think he might have been a second rounder, but yeah.
Yeah. But the Rams looked legit, man. They. I mean, it's only week one. Kind of same thing that I was gonna say about the Buccaneers. I would wait till week 3 before I put a stamp on anything. But those are two teams that looked much better than I expected them to.
Yeah, I think we all forgot that Matthew Stafford is a very good quarterback, and
I didn't. I traded for him in the offseason.
Yeah, I remember that. I think that was with us. That was me.
Yeah. No, you didn't send me Stafford. What? I got him from Austin.
I think so.
I got Staff from Austin.
How did I? I had Stafford at some point. So
he is one of those players that's moved around.
He has moved around.
Yeah,
that's what happens to quarterbacks. They move around quite a bit.
They do.
I think it would be remiss if we did not discuss that team from an hour and a half north of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Green Bay Packers, man.
Oh. Okay.
I don't feel good saying this. Jordan Love is a good NFL quarterback. Now I'll give the prefaces out of the way. Clearly, Matt LaFleur is a good head coach. He's a good offensive mind. He made Jordan Love extremely comfortable. All these things are true. Jordan Love played really well. He made a lot of good throws. They utilized their weapons well, and he was without Christian Watson, and Romeo Doubs was on a snap count, and he looked the way he looked. Now, obviously, again, they utilized Aaron Jones. That's fine. He's their best player.
How many yards did Aaron Jones have receiving?
No idea. Doesn't matter.
How many receptions did he have?
Nah, I don't know.
2.
He played well. He played really good.
2 for 86 yards. Both of them were screens.
No, that's not true. One of them was a slant. He lined up in the slot.
Fine, it was a slant. As far as yards to gain on those passes, Jordan Love threw 5 total between the two.
No, hold up. The screen, he was rolling left. He threw across this body. The ball probably went 30 air yards. Like,
don't care.
It was a screen that went 30,
he is throwing it.
Air yards.
The only people between him and the receiver are wearing his uniform. No one's disrupting that pass.
There was the stupid screenshot. No. There was a guy like close to him, and he threw it over him. Now, where Aaron Jones was, there wasn't anyone within 25 yards of him. But there was people were running after. There were some defenders running after Love. He kind of turns around to, kind of airmails it over to Aaron Jones, and obviously it went for a 50-yard gain or something. But anyway, the point is.
No. You're gonna let me finish.
Clearly.
You're gonna let me finish.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. I'm gonna let you finish.
So I am not saying that he was bad. I had to make sure that I had done something right. I actually really liked watching Jordan Love play. I thought he looked maybe good.
Thank you.
He had 165 passing yards without Aaron Jones 2 plays for 85 yards. that is too early and not enough production to put the stamp of this guy's it. Now, am I excited? Totally. The NFL is more fun with Green Bay being competitive, but I need Jordan Love to air that ball out quite a bit more before he is the heir apparent to Aaron Rodgers, before he is their career guy. And I think that Green Bay wants to see the same stuff before they offer him a contract, because he's got what, this season, and then they can franchise tag him and they got to pay him, right?
No, he has a second year. It's like a weird option. There's 12 million guaranteed, but 23 million if they pick it up. So it's only 10 million bucks for them. So if he plays like this, they're gonna
totally.
In fact, they might just extend him.
But that was not enough. He needs to do more. That was a good start. I'm excited. 165 air yards is not enough. We need to see more. And to my point, there's a real possibility we're going to see Jordan Love without Aaron Jones this week. And if he goes off for 250 passing yards without Jones, then you can tell me, like, hey, you were wrong. Look at this guy. He can do it. He was just utilizing his weapons. But those weren't deep balls. Those weren't what?
Yeah. Well, so I'll respond to all. So it's going to be a weird week this week. They're playing the Falcons. And they're just one of those teams that's going to keep pounding the rock. So the time of possession stuff is going to be weird. It's always a weird game when you play teams like that. It's like when teams play the Titans again. It's like, geez, can we get the ball and stop holding it for 10 minutes at a time?
Yeah,
they're horrible games to watch. It sucks. He was without Christian Watson. Christian Watson is their deep threat. That's the guy who you air it out to. I think he tried to air it to Luke Musgrave, man.
I saw the drop. Yeah.
Dude. There was another one too where where Luke Musgrave, like, he's running and Jordan Love throws a really pretty ball and he just kind of stops and like is turning around and the announcer's like, dude, Luke, you gotta keep running, bro. It's like he's throwing you that ball where you're.
I get what you're saying. But also, I'm looking for him. I'm kind of in on Dobbs over Watson. If I had to own one of the two, I want Dobbs. He looked good last year when he played while he was healthy. And I get he was very touchdown dependent, but sometimes guys are just like that. Mike Evans was kind of a touchdown PPR guy for a long time. Or not Mike Evans, Michael Thomas. Sorry. And if I don't know, if I were to pick one of the two, not including their values, obviously, just to own, like which one am I going to own going forward? I think I want Dobbs. He looks really fun. So I'm not Christian Watson.
Dude, I think it's one of those "what have you done for me lately" thing, and I get that. But the fact that his hamstrings have flared up 2 years in a row is definitely concerning. Dude, when Christian Watson's on the field, he's so good. He's so good. It's like dirty how good he is. He just is. Like I like Romeo Dobbs too, and there's a reason like they are going to just be the 1-2. They are a 2 receiver team.
Yeah.
But man, Christian Watson is so sick. Like, he's just one of those dudes who like looks different out there. Romeo Dobbs to me just looks like any other. You could throw any receiver out there, and again, that's not completely true.
I disagree.
Christian Watson out there.
I did not like Christian Watson's drop problem. He was very inconsistent, dropping open field passes.
Yeah, he's never going to be Larry Fitzgerald out there, but man, when he's just faster than everyone else on the field, and he's just bigger and stronger than everyone else on the field. So
we'll see.
I'm excited to get him in the offense. So yeah, any other quick takeaways from this just exciting week one? I'm trying to think of any myself.
I have a whole list. I do. I mean, we're about halfway through the things I wrote out. Why do you hate the Eagles? That's on the list. I actually don't get why you
charlatans.
I don't get why you hate them. They're charlatans. How? Do you just hate that touchdown play that everyone else does?
I don't even hate that play as much. Like it. here's my problem with the Eagles. They remind me, and I've said this before. They remind me of like the 2017 Cowboys when Dak took over. It was just unreal offensive, especially last year. Like think about last year, unreal offensive line play. Just the easiest schedule I've ever seen.
Okay.
Could not like ridiculously easy. I can't even go through everything, like all the breaks they got in their schedule, and
Yeah.
then their path to the Super Bowl. Like maybe the easiest path to the Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. They get a terrible, mediocre Giants team, and then Brock Purdy, they're facing a third string quarterback.
They did break two
John, like
quarterbacks.
they,
They did. Hold on. Not that those
yeah,
quarterbacks
not
were
even a third
broken.
string. They were like no
They
quarterback.
the Eagles broke them. They were like, okay, maybe Brock Purdy's good, whatever. It doesn't matter. Our D line's just going to break any quarterback you put under center. I don't know.
Well, and the other one, before that play even happened, they had that fourth down play where Jalen Hurts aired it out to Devonta Smith, and he doesn't catch it. And then they go up and quickly run a play, and Kyle Shanahan doesn't throw the challenge flag. Like he clearly did not catch that. So just like the team, and again, and now it continues. The first 2 weeks, they just win on these fluky turnover stuff.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't
crazy.
know. At some point, winning is winning, man. I feel like you are finding reasons to be upset that they've won. And 2-0, it doesn't matter how you got there. You won the game. Like,
Yeah, I'm just
look
telling
at,
you, like
dude.
the regression has to come. It has to.
I think you just hate it because you have no investments and it's too late to invest because whether or not their values are right. Look at what's his name, that stupid running back, Swift. The dude's gonna break. I think like by week 6, Swift will not be an NFL running back anymore. Like he's made out of glass. But I bet you if you offered the Swift owner right now like a late first, he's gonna tell you no because he's found Jesus. Like I think that you hate the Eagles because you cannot invest.
Dude,
I
I
can't see
don't.
any other rational reason. Like,
It's
otherwise you're just
because
pumping smoke.
they get every break. They are just asking for negative regression. Like it's just ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
because I don't. I can't even. I struggle to evaluate Jalen Hurts. Like I still don't know how good of a quarterback Jalen Hurts is. I I legitimately. Obviously he's
As a
elite.
Hertz owner, I will confirm that. I'm not sure how good he is either. Because sometimes
Yeah,
it's a 60-yard touchdown pass. Sometimes it is a blind interception. So yeah, I
yeah,
can agree with that. But I do know that when in doubt, he is going to run that ball as hard as he can at the next defender, and it seems to work.
yeah.
Um,
I feel like this is the new Brady hating. That like
dude,
how does everything go so right for this guy? And it's just at some point, and at some point with the Eagles, I'll give up. Like
I
I'll
don't
be
believe
like,
you. Because
no,
if
I
you give
will,
up,
I
you will
will.
find a way to have said that you are right. I do not see you admitting being wrong on
At,
this.
after the seventh Super Bowl, if you were still a Brady
Yeah.
hater, you looked like an absolute fool. Like, get over yourself. The Tuck rule. He put up 13 points in the Super. Dude, he tough nuts,
Yeah.
man. I get it. I get like every point you're making is valid. He won 7. Like
Yeah.
it's the antithesis of Aaron Rodgers' career of like the amount of times his defense has allowed 40 points. Like
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers' career is so heartbreaking in the
Um,
playoffs. If I
Before we
wasn't a
move on,
Seahawks fan, I would. Yeah,
I was just going to say real quick.
I was just talking about the 2014. Yeah, but
Oh,
anyway, yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
ridiculous.
Um,
Yeah, how does that
that
even happen? Anyway.
it happens because there were like high school refs on the field. You talking
No, I'm
about the
talking. No,
Fail
no,
Mary?
no. I'm talking about the.
Oh.
No. That's another one. But no, no, no. I'm talking about the 2014. I guess it's been 2014 NFC Championship. That the
Oh.
onside kick. Oh my gosh.
Uh,
How do you even recover from that? Oh my
no.
gosh.
Um,
Yeah, that's brutal.
Speaking
Anyway,
of regression, both sides of Eagles defense will take them to a Super Bowl. That D line looks brutal. Like I don't think it matters what their offense does. Their defense is going to do some bad things to people. And then on the topic of regression, Dallas and the Giants, man. The the Dallas defense has to play worse, right? And the Giants have to play better. That has to. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'll say this. So both this game, I'm in the minority on this. Both this game and the Bengals Browns game, dude. At some point, the weather sucks. Dude. Like
you just got
weather
to throw them
games
out.
just make you have to throw, dude. Weather
Yeah,
games make stuff so random. Like it just is at a certain dude. That Giants game was comical.
it was
They
one of
they
the
go and
least
they
fun football games I've ever watched. Like
Yeah,
miserable.
so the poor Giants, they go drive down the length of the field. Everything's looking like it's going to go pretty well. Oh, there's a bad snap and it goes over. Oh, okay, well we'll kick a field goal. Oh, it got blocked for a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
he had a wide receiver, ball hit him in the hands, picked it. Like it just nothing could have gone worse for the Giants. Whereas for Dallas, I mean, their defense couldn't help but make a play. They just, I
yeah,
mean, short of getting a football stuck in somebody's helmet and just walking into the end zone, like I don't know, man. That Dallas defense was either the truth or just had a good weather game.
yeah. At some point, again, like you have to play like the NFL playoffs are obviously in, you know, bad weather theoretically. But at some point, you look at these kind of games, it's like, dude, throw them out. The clear, I mean, especially the Bengals. The Bengals are not a bad team.
Yeah,
The Giants are probably not a bad team. Like it's they're not 40-0 bad. This
they didn't
is
make the
they'll be
playoffs on
fine.
accident last year. The Giants fought
Right.
pretty hard through a decent schedule. They were
Yeah.
a
They're
respectable
gonna play.
team.
They're going to Arizona. They're gonna get back on track. Start all your Giants, like at least the three: Daniel Jones, Darren Waller, and Saquon Barkley.
Okay. Yeah.
Like go ahead and start those guys. No wide receivers, but those three.
Yeah.
Um, and you're good. Yeah, I'm all in. Start your Bengals. Uh,
I can get behind
was
that.
Elijah Moore the number one wide receiver in Cleveland? Maybe it's tough to tell. Um, some would say, uh, some would say, but again, also bad weather. So we'll see on Monday night.
I don't want to talk
I
about
get
the
it.
Browns. They suck. Like
No,
they're
they
not.
don't, dude.
They
They're
were not
good.
fun to watch play. They were meh.
Yeah, again, bad weather. It's all sucked. Positive game script. Yeah, just pounding the rock. Yeah, it's
Yeah. Um. Maybe they'll excite me more. I was bored. They were boring.
yeah. I think that game is going to be a lot of fun. Also, if you have a San Francisco 49er, start them.
One of them's going to be crappy every week, and just hope it wasn't the one you started. That's where
Yeah,
I'm at.
exactly. Somewhat exactly.
I think Brock Purdy will be
But
good
you're
every
starting
week. CMC will probably be good every week, and then
totally.
between Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, and Kittle, two of them will be good. One of them's going to be trash. Just hope you don't have the one that's trash.
Was it Kittle this week?
That was
Kittle
good
wasn't
last
good, right?
week. No, it was
No,
Debo.
bad.
Kittle was
No, that
good.
was
Debo was butt last week.
he got what he scored the what 13 points. It's not but I mean it's not what you're hoping,
That's
but
but
he was
it is
fine. He was
service. It is very serviceable for a fantasy football wide receiver that did not have a
I would
touchdown.
say I would say eight is what I'm saying. Like that's a butt performance for a
Oh,
guy like that.
then no one was but. I think Kittle broke double digits.
I thought Kittle. Oh really? I thought Kittle wasn't very good. I thought
Let's see.
maybe
I'm
yeah.
fairly certain. I thought he had like 5 receptions for 20 yards or something. Or not
Well,
20
I
yards.
thought well it
Sorry.
wasn't. I mean,
Oh, 3 for 19. No, he was butt. Yeah, he was
yeah.
bad.
Kittle was butt. Yeah,
All right,
yep.
it's Kittle last
So
week.
yeah. So again, but you start 'em. You start
Yeah,
you
you've got
start
to.
them all.
Yeah.
Yep. You
Unless you
start them
own them
all.
all, then you pick two, and you just hope you pick
Yeah,
the right two.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
if you own two, you better own Brock Purdy because if you don't, you're crazy. Um,
yeah.
you start them. I think that might be just about it for my takeaways. I think the rest of them, like we
I
can't go through everything.
I
Go,
have
go for it, dude. I don't
I
care.
have the Hawks written down, and I would love to leave it at that. Hawks question mark. I don't want to talk about it anything past that. Does that work for you?
Well, I will say it just got announced. Both tackles are out skis. I think who was it? Our friend up in Washington State, Abraham Lucas, is on the IR, so he's out for 4 games. Charles Cross is also out for this game. Might be trouble time in Seattle. Which, you know what? Is it, dude? Is it Caleb Williams time in Seattle? That would be crazy. That would be so sick. Like
We
Geno
no,
is just a
I
one-year
don't want to
wonder.
talk about it. I think Seattle should have blown the Rams out of the water. We have all the offensive pieces. Geno showed that he can work with an offense like that. I would say he's a Brock Purdy type QB where it doesn't matter if he's good or bad. His offense is so good, he should be good. Um,
Dude, when
I
you
just
lose
think
both starting tackles, it's a bad thing.
I think that we ran a really boring offense like Pete does at the start of every season. And as we struggle, we will try more creative things because we have to win. And gosh darn it, Seattle will figure it out and we'll win some games. Because that showing with the Rams was, it showed a
Dude,
lack of energy. It was
it's time to get
not.
ready for Seattle Dragons season, baby. The real Seattle football team.
Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully, when you listen to this, it's after a Hawks W or whenever this comes out.
Oh, it's coming out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, oh, it is going to come out tomorrow. Awesome.
Yeah,
Well,
duh. Yeah, whatever.
well,
Yeah,
you never know what day these are going to come out.
Yeah, that's true. Guys, thank you for tuning in.
All 10 of you, we would appreciate it.
Go. If you were off the Trevor Lawrence train, that's your fault.
There's no way you can buy him now. Whoever owns him is
No, you're
way
done.
too high.
No,
on him.
he's a bit. No, he's going to be the QB2 by the end of the year. So you know. Peace, everybody.
Yeah.